Are you ready to stop that wheel spinning chaos of never enough time to do all the things on your to-do list and gain back 10 hours in your nonprofit work week? Well, stick with me until the end of this video, and I'm going to give you just one strategy, not a long list, just one strategy that you can use right now today to, if you do it right, gain back 10 hours per week in your work week. Stick along. Kelly, the nonprofit nerd, and I help nonprofit leaders create an organization and life of intention, ease, and incredible impact. If you haven't already, or if this sounds curious to you, make sure to subscribe below so you can continue to get weekly updates on how you can do leadership and life in the nonprofit world just a little bit better, because we all want to make great impact for our organizations. Now, before I get started sharing that one tip with you on how you can gain back 10 hours of your work week, again, you'll have to watch till the end, but before I get started, I want to tell you a story about a woman that actually was very intimidating for me. Now, if you know my story of nonprofit burnout, if you don't, you can watch it above. If you know my story, I am a victim of nonprofit burnout after having working 80 hours a week all the time and all this chaos. I quit. That's my story. I am here primarily to help you not do the same. But I want to tell you about one woman that was very intimidating to me when I was in the nonprofit leadership space. She was a colleague. She was actually kind of executive director competition. But whenever I would see her at meetings, at collaborations, at community events, she was always running around kind of frantically, always talking about how busy she was. Busy. Let's just call her executive director busy. She was busy. And she would show up to meetings, not really do what she promised to do. I couldn't quite tell how she spent her days. And what I realized, and what I could I bet $1 million on it. What I realized is she was constantly busy doing the wrong stuff, responding to meetings, attending events with no outcomes, honestly, probably scrolling around on Facebook, but she was always busy doing the right stuff. And this executive director busy, which honestly is the way a lot of executive directors live, just always frantically running around. They've got so much going on and so much to do. Like, it can feel great, but like, it's also a lot of chaos, and it's not the best thing. Not only for you, it might make you feel important to be busy, but it's not the best thing for your organization if you want to do what I hope you want to do, which is move it forward. So here's my one tip I'm going to tell you on how you can gain back 10 hours in your work week, and that's to follow and work every single day through the Eisenhower Matrix. If you don't know, don't go ahead and Google, follow along, and I will explain it to you. Now, the Eisenhower Matrix is 4 quadrants. Quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. And we're going to start up here talking about quadrant 1. And these are things that are urgent and important. Q1 things are urgent and important. These are tasks that you might be doing, such as grant writing, sending out quarterly reports for funding, attending mandatory meetings for your organization and in the community, coordinating registration that's set up at a certain time. These are things that have to be done. So when we're looking at how to prioritize our time, if it really is urgent and important, and I would argue if you're a nonprofit leader and you need to be the one doing it, go ahead and do those Q1 tasks first. You should be allocating half your day maybe, or half your work week towards those Q1 tasks. If you're allocating all of your work week towards those Q1 tasks, you're not going to be able to move your organization forward, so you need to look on bumping some of those down to a different quadrant. Now, before we go and talk about a different quadrant, I want to tell you, we like to brag in the nonprofit space about, oh, we're just constantly putting out fires. If you are bragging about putting out fires, I know they legitimately happen sometimes, but if that is your daily life, you are not doing time management correctly, and you need to really focus on What are you not doing in quadrants 2, 3, and 4 that you should be, so that not everything's emergency, emergency, emergency. Now I'm going to skip quadrant 2 for now and go ahead and bump down to quadrant 3, which are those urgent, not important tasks. Those urgent, not important tasks. And those are things like attending community meetings to show your face that don't really have any outcomes, possibly ongoing reporting, ongoing billing that you probably don't need to be the person doing. And I hate to break it to you, micromanaging. So many nonprofit leaders end up spending the majority of their day just making sure they know what's going on in their organization. Now, for all of this stuff in here that's urgent, and when you really, really gut check or really, really look at the mission and vision of your organization and it's out of alignment,
you need to delegate those things. You don't have to be the one doing them.
Okay? And if you can clear out even 4 hours a week of that stuff you're doing by delegating it out, it's going to give you more time for this one over here that we're going to be talking about. So again, quadrant number 3, those urgent, not important stuff, go ahead and delegate it out. Now, quadrant number 4 is my favorite, and I know, and I'm not like, I know that executive director Miss Busy, I know that this is where she was spending most of her time, probably at least 50% of her work week, and that's in quadrant number 4 over here, that are those urgent, not important things. And honestly, even if you're not that person that thinks you're doing it, you really need to check if you're operating programs that are out of alignment with the mission and vision of your organization. That goes here. If you're spending a lot of your time purposelessly networking, that goes here. If you're spending a lot of time gossiping and being in the know and whatever, yes, that's important and that can be strategic. And if it's strategic, it moves up here. But chances are it's down here. And the biggest thing and the biggest recommendation, I hope you continue to subscribe so I can give you all the tips on how to do time management better. But if you're spending most of your time or even an hour or 2 a day answering your phone every time it rings, responding to emails as they come in, that's not urgent. That's not that important. You're allowing people, if you have your inbox constantly open and are reading it, you're being reactive to other people's priorities. So if that's where you're spending your time, go ahead and eliminate. Delegate things out is over here. But if it's really not that important, what can you unsubscribe to? What committees don't you need to be on? What things can you just say no to? If you're spending your time here, you need to do one of my favorite leadership recommendations, which is to say yes to say no. That was my first TED Talk. Say yes to say no. Start getting the habit of saying no. Definitely stop opening up your email all the time, and at least schedule 2 or 3 times a day where your email's open as opposed to doing it all the time, because that'll allow you to not do the most important quadrant right up here. And this is the important and not time sensitive stuff. Right here, this is the needle moving stuff that we as nonprofit leaders don't spend enough, or if we're going to be honest with ourselves, barely any time on. And these are designing programs to move your organization forward and better meet the needs of your community. This is strategic planning. This is creating fundraising and marketing plans. This is delegating time to implementing those things. This is professional development for yourself and for others. This is creating a workplace culture that's inclusive and is in alignment with who you are as a person and who your organization is. And these are the things, those Q2 things, we need to cut out that bottom quadrant 3 and 4 as much as possible, delegate and eliminate, so that we can gain back hopefully half of our work week and then dedicate all of our time to this stuff. And on here also, board training and strategic planning. If you're having issues doing this, please contact me and join the stress-free ED community. If you're ready to do this and you're interested in board training or strategic planning on your Q2, shoot me an email and make sure to download part 1 of the free ebook, How to Gain 10 Hours of Your Work Week. Again, you can download it in the link below for free, just for you, for watching this video. Why? Because I really, really want to help nonprofit leaders like you create an organization and life of intention, ease, and incredible impact. And for you to get ease and incredible impact, you need to do better at time management and reclaim your time. If this was helpful to you, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next Thursday for another nonprofit nerd out about leadership. Take care.